Hey everybody, Shadow Dragon here. Welcome to today's video. Today's video we're going to do on the long range meta, and I have a bit of a new format for you that we're going to show off. And this will be a lot more fun for me because I get to go in and play some games while I'm testing the weapons, and I can get some little clips to show you of the weapons performing. That being said, this time it's done in multiplayer custom games, but before you click off the video, let me explain. There is no difference between how the weapons perform recoil wise between Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. So what you're seeing as far as me being able to control the weapon and hit my shots is what you would see in a game of Warzone. This is just easier and faster to get those things done. So they are pretty cool clips. Obviously the TTKs aren't going to be the same, um, but I know doing my research on these weapons, these are the top 5 weapons um, in the game. So that being said, let's get right into the loadouts. But before we do, make sure you guys like the video, comment. Any comment helps. Literally, I don't care what you do. You can just say, you can put a 1 there, a 2, just randomly type a bunch of numbers and letters. You can put a heart. You can put an angry face. You can do whatever you want in the comment section. I don't care. I like to see questions or comments regarding the video. Those are preferred, but anything you want. Okay, like, comment. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We update our meta videos whenever there's a meta change, or whenever I want to point out some new weapons that you guys might not be thinking about. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the loadouts. Holger 26. This gun is an absolute laser beam, especially with this build. It has pretty decent bullet velocity, so you don't really have to lead your shots all that much. You can be beaming people out of the sky. That being said, you can, if you wanted to, drop something like the Morn grip, which honestly I wouldn't do. Drop the Morn or the Lord Essence stock or whatever, and you can put the high grade rounds on, so you can get better bullet velocity and better damage range. But honestly, this build is just perfect the way it is with the 120 grip, which is giving us a huge boost to our recoil control. Also helping with idle aim, aiming idle sway. Ascent Lord stock is helping us with the same thing: idle sway, fire aim, stability, recoil control, all that fun stuff. Use whatever optic you're most comfortable with. This is my favorite one um, for a bit farther out in range. It does have an integrated green laser, but it's not really all that visible. You can be shooting people at range with it, so if they spot it, good for them. Holger Factory Barrel giving us a big damage range boost, a little bit of bullet velocity, and a little bit of recoil control. And then we have the Spirit Fire Suppressor, same thing, damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. We have the Bruin MK9. This gun kills faster than the Holger, but I'm pretty sure the Holger's way easier to use. Though the Bruin is very, very easy to use, and it does hit pretty hard at all ranges, especially with this build. So let's get right to the build. We have the Intless Cast 14 again. Go with whatever you're the most comfortable with. Then we got the Horizon barrel, which is going to help us with recoil control and a little bit of bullet velocity. And then we have the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor, helping us with bullet velocity, range, and recoil control. Bruin heavy support on this one. That's to give us the fire aim, stability, gun control, all that stuff. And then we have the high grain rounds on this one, just so we can get that 1,000 bullet velocity. You be beaming people out of the air like crazy with this build. So that's what we're gonna do with the Bruin here. Next up, we have the BP-50, and this gun has a really good TTK at all of its ranges. There's no significant drop off between, one damage range and the next. It's just really consistent across the board. And this specific build has no recoil, and the only thing holding it back is the 45 round mag. But even still, it does have a quick reload time, so that's kind of negligible, honestly. Um, This is the build with the 45 round mag, the 4-bear heavy stock, which gives us a bunch of recoil control. If you wanted to use the Moat 40 stock, it gives you 25% to your recoil gun kick. Um, and it helps out a little bit with the other recoil control, but it does give you movement speed as well as ADS speed. But the problem I have with this is that it hurts your fire aim stability, and I kind of really notice it myself. So the 4-bear heavy stock is just, I think, is better unless you're trying to be more aggressive. Then we have the Lore 9 heavy barrel, which gives us everything we want in a long barrel, the bullet velocity range, gun kick control, and all that stuff. And it's quite significant too in the damage range and bullet velocity count. Then we have the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor, which is what you saw in those clips. But to be perfectly honest, with the rest of it being really focused on recoil control, I honestly think that the Sonic Suppressor is probably better here because it gives us 13% in the bullet velocity, giving us damn near 1,000 bullet velocity, and it's still very easy to use. And next we have the Baz-B. The Baz-B has been nerfed up and down several times, but its medium to long range TTK is still one of the best in the game. And it's very, very easy to control still, especially with this build. I opted for the only thing that boosts range to be the suppressor, and that's just because we wanted to go full out control, so this thing would be an absolute laser beam. So we get the 45 round mag, which is plenty sufficient. This thing doesn't have the fastest fire rate. We have the Ravage 20 stock, helping us with recoil control and firing aim stability. Again, with the Endless Cas 14, this is my optic preference. I do highly recommend it, at least giving it a try. It doesn't show any sort of visual recoil like the Choreo Eagle's Eye or anything like that, but whatever optic you're most comfortable with. VT7 Spear Fire Suppressor, as always, damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, and the heavy support grip, giving us recoil control horizontally, gun kick control. Hurts the vertical a little bit, but it gives us aiming idle sway help and firing aim stability. And last but not least, we have the SOA Subverter. Now, the version in the clips that you guys saw is not the version you see on screen here. After a little bit of further testing, this is the build that I think is the best for this gun. It doesn't have a whole lot of recoil. Its recoil is just weirdly shaped. It has like an S-shaped recoil, but it doesn't have like a lot of recoil. So that being said, this is the build that I recommend. 50 round drum, jack classless optic. We're gonna go all in on firing aim stability. That being said, you can use the Endless Cas 14, which is again what I recommend for almost all of my long range weapons. Compared to the other extended zoom optics, this thing has basically no visual recoil on it. So the Dozer 90 long barrel, which is going to help us even more with that firing aim stability. It's also going to give us bullet velocity range, and it's going to help out with our recoil control quite a bit. And then we have the Sonic Suppressor, which hurts our recoil control a little bit. But as you can see by these numbers, it doesn't have a whole lot to begin with, but it is giving us 13% bullet velocity, which is much better than the Spirit Fire Suppressor at 8%. So, but if you want the extra recoil control, definitely use the Spirit Fire Suppressor. Then we're using the Bruin Heavy Support Grip, which gives us gun kick control, aiming idle sway help, horizontal recoil control, and it helps with our firing aim stability. Hurts your ADS a little bit, and also hurts your vertical recoil a little bit. But vertical recoil is so much easier to control than than horizontal is. And that'll do it for today, guys, for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, make sure you guys like and comment on the video. The more you guys comment, the more it gets into an algorithm, the more people see my stuff. Let's get some more subscribers. Let's help build this community. We're doing a pretty good job so far. I love each and every one of you guys, and I appreciate all the support. So like and comment on the video. And like I said, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. We got load up videos. We got gameplay videos. We're going to be starting a tips and tricks section here soon. Um, and my target audience are, the average player like myself who, you know, can't Joe Woe, can't be movement king and all that stuff, and can't necessarily, build their guns all straight up for movement and no control. So I like to build my weapons for the average player. And I use these weapons in game. You can ask any of the guys that have been my friends here that are part of my community, or you know I've made through doing this. So that being said, like I said, I'm looking for anybody who wants to come in and say hi and be a part of the community. We're welcoming, we're loving, and it's a fun place to be. So like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.